What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Reality Kingdom, where we put the
Period.
real in
Real.
reality.
T. Period.
I'm your
Period.
host,
Period.
Pharaoh. We are joined by our wonderful co-host, Lee. Lee, how are you feeling on this wonderful day where we be fucking assessing the cast and drafting the cast?
I feel like I'm gonna beat you with another cast draft.
You, at this point, you are.
Yeah. So for the girls who
You got it.
do not know, me and Pharaoh have been casting people literally since BB17. We've been casting Big Brother Survivor season since then, and I'm ahead of him. I'm leading him 17-10. I mean, it's been really bad. I mean, I won with Chris and Edge of Extinction,
Boom.
Jackson and BB21,
Boom.
Tony and Winners at War,
Boom.
Cody and BB All Stars, Misha and Celebrity Big Brother, Kevin and BB Can 10, Marianne and Survivor 42, Taylor and BB 24, and unfortunately Gabler and Survivor 43. So, is it time for a win? Who thinks Pharaoh's gonna get his first win? Or in a while? Pharaoh's last win was Wendell Survivor Ghost Island.
Ooh.
Oh, actually, sorry. Pharaoh's last win was
a little bit better.
Dane BB Can 7.
Okay, same year. If I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I'm gonna get it. We going hope for the best. That's all. That's all.
Good luck. I mean, good luck. You know, when you're hashtag that girl, you know, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat the best. But you know, it's crazy because Pharaoh at this point has been picking first.
And
every time.
Continuously picking first. Clearly the first pick don't matter. None of the first picks be winning anyways.
You know what the Bible says, last will be first.
Yeah, that's true. It's like more of the lower picks these last couple of seasons. So I guess we just gonna...
I mean, good luck, sister. I believe in you. I do.
Thank you, King. Let's get to it, period. So if you don't know what the fuck we were going to be doing, we're going to be drafting, assessing, talking about, gagging about,
reacting
the cast of Big Survivor. Survivor 44. Drop the 4, keep the 4. Period. We will be talking about that. We will be drafting it. Let's just hop right into it. Well, first I want to say, if you ain't never seen us, you've seen us today. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you stay tuned throughout the entire season. We will be going live right after every Wednesday that Survivor comes on. We will be going live to discuss the tea of that episode. We will be recapping the episode. We will also be rating the players. We give out player ratings over here, baby. So make sure you tune in and stay tuned every Wednesday.
Anna.
From here on.
Booked every Wednesday.
And go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Ooh,
what?
The subscribe button. we don't know who that girl is. Anyways, let's get motherfucking started. Let's just hop right into it. And hop on it. Push your love. I'm just a junkie for your love. I'm hopped up on it. Period. Okay, y'all. This is the mother-loving cast. Right?
Yeah. So me personally, I don't know if some of the girls was here last season with us, Survivor 43. I said very early on, the cast was not giving. It was giving very much boring. It was giving very much milk toast. And then we had a very terrible season with even more terrible winner. No shade. Actually, all tea. And all offense.
That's all.
So I'm actually really excited about this cast. I don't know. The aura is just different. The energy is just different. The personality is there. We're back. Survivor's back. I'm excited.
Survivor's back. I love the cast. The cast looks cute. The first thing I noticed was kind of like, I think, and Survivor has been leaning towards this anyways. First thing I noticed, me personally, is that all of the archetypes are leaning more towards, I feel like it just gives a lot of Davids more than Goliath. You have it's not a lot of, oh, I'm the pretty girl or I'm the pretty guy. We don't have all of that this season. It's a lot of different, more so like we're here to play. You know, we're intellectuals, baby. We don't care about all that hoopla. We're here to play the game. We like the game and we're here to play the game. I like that.
Me too. I'm really excited to see people play. I'm really excited who's gonna win. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is gonna be a really, really good season. I have really good feelings.
It's honestly the cat. Like when I was going through the videos and I was watching the videos, it was just it felt good in my stomach. You know, how you get a bad gut feeling. It felt like a good gut feeling. Like just watching them was like this is funny.
I can't what these people were saying. I think the stories this year. I mean, it's some pretty deep stories this year. Like I feel like a few times I was like, ooh, like that's big. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Period. Period. Here at the Reality Kingdom, we do stand the diversity, baby. The diversity is eating down. I do want to comment on that. They got people from all different shapes, sizes, colors, races. Bitch, I love that for them. This is a record-breaking season because Survivor 44 contains the most LGBT contestants of any season of Survivor. Period. With 6. That is Carolyn. Shout out to her. Shout out to her. Craig, shout out to her. Josh, shout out to him. Matthew, shout out to him. And Yam Yam, bitch. This is the first season with 3 LGBT female contestants ever. Period. And it's like y'all ate that.
Yeah, the gays are here. The gays are here and they're queer. Actually, bottom's on top.
Period. Shout out to hi. Anyways, I love that for this. This looks like it's gonna be a really great cast. Let's hop into the motherfucking sea or whatever. Like, or whatever. So, what we will be doing today is we're gonna show you this screen, which you don't see yet. I'm gonna show you a peek. Boom, bye. So, what we're gonna do is after we choose who we're drafting, we're gonna pull up their profile that is listed on. Don't worry about it. We're gonna pull up their profile with the C on it, and when we pull it up, then we're gonna discuss kind of what they said in their profile. The person who chose is going to go ahead and actually I'm choosing first. So I'm going to start it off. I'm going to tell you why I picked them. We're going to go through their profile. Lee's going to tell me, well, maybe I tell you why. Lee's tell you why not, or whatever, his thoughts. Then we're going to into it. Period. I'm sorry. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Period.
Okay, I get to pick first.
Girl, who you going to choose first?
So y'all,
it better not be one of my picks, bitch. It better not be one of my picks.
I don't know. What I have is a list, but this is just like a.
Did you check it twice?
I did not check it twice. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. I did not check it twice,
and that's why your ass is gonna lose.
And that is why I'm gonna have some trouble. I am gonna have some trouble. But let me show y'all who my first pick is. Oh, and I get to just boom my pick on the screen. You ready? Boom. Ooh, she's not even on the screen.
Is that Sarah?
That's Sarah.
You bitch! I wanted Sarah! I wanted Sarah!
My first pick is Sarah.
Wait. You know what? I figured you would love Sarah. I did.
Hey. I absolutely love Sarah. I picked Sarah because everything she said, it didn't only sound. First of all, she was relatable. I felt related to her a little bit. So it was kind of like a part of it was like, okay, go with your heart. I'll be going with my head. I'm trying to go with my heart this time. She was very relatable to me. But when she was talking, she was saying all of the right things and not just I'm just saying this because I need to say this. It seemed like she really thought deeply about what the fuck she was talking about. She discussed, first of all, she was a fantasy. She grew up. She started off saying she felt inspired by like Stephanie and Sari. I really liked that. I feel like even growing up, watching the show, it shows that she's a super duper fan. They have a lot of super fans this season, and then they have a lot of alleged super fans this season. And Sarah she's actually a super fan.
Like she knew what she was talking about.
One thing I really liked is that she talked about who she wanted in her alliance. And when she said that, she said she wants someone who's equally skilled to me when it comes to like, we both can talk about the game, we can strategize, we can scheme. I need someone who I can scheme with. But also someone who I think I can trust. I like those two put together. Some people said one or the other. She said both. I really, really like that. She said, I think people will perceive her as like a sweet girl. She said they'll perceive her as sweet and nice and cuddly. I think that's true. She seems sociable. I like that she seems sociable. She seemed like she could actually get along with people. And she also seems very strategic. She just had like everything. She had everything that I wanted in like a player. She's a good age. I feel like age comes into play here and there, but we just got Marianne as a winner and then Gabler. So really it doesn't matter. Honestly, truly.
Yeah.
And one more thing.
She's mother. She
on
is.
Her tribe, I felt like looking at her tribe, she could eat this fuck up.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. I like Sarah a lot. I feel like all of her questions, which is in a Mike Bloom interview. Shout out to him. Shout out to Mike Bloom. She was like basically answering all of her questions like relaying them back to Survivor. I mean, there was even a joking question about like, what celebrity would you like to come out and play? And she literally named a Survivor contestant. Was it not? I think it was Tyson, wasn't it?
Let me see. Is it on here? It's not gonna be on here.
It's not gonna be on there. I believe it was Tyson. Like, it's just like she just had really, really good answers for all of her questions, and I feel like she had a clear understanding of what she wants to go in there and do. Like, she's very openly said, "I want to be a strategic player. I don't mind having to, get down and dirty, essentially, and make the moves that need to be made." So I'm really happy about that. She seems like someone that's going to be able to separate the game from her emotions, which I feel like a few archetypes that we've seen, especially in some of the other women contestants, like a Natalie, a Kim Spradlin, a Sarah, people who are able to have this dominant gameplay and then also kind of separate, okay, I'm cool with you, we're friends, but I'm also playing this game. And I feel like Sarah's going to be able to have that duality of, okay, you can respect me as a game player, but I'm also doing what I have to do to get to the end. My only fear with Sarah is essentially that in this new era, I just feel like, I don't know, is that kind of bold, open gameplay, is that something to really be feared? Because, I mean, look at the past winners. You have Gabler, you have Marianne, you have Erica. All of them have been way more reserved. And then the people who are making the big moves, being loud, they got out pretty early. I feel like 43, I won't gauge too much of what happened in 43 is going to happen in 44, because I do think that was a lot of things happened in 43. I feel like it was more so all over the place when it came to who was targeting who and when and where. But I don't really know. I agree though. I like the tribe that she's on. And we'll talk more about that as we go on, like different connections and things like that. Yeah. But I think she has a good chance of making it far, for real, because she understands the game. And I feel like Survivor, out of any show you can go on, you have to understand the game you're playing, or you're just not gonna really. It's gonna be bad for you.
It's gonna be bad for you. It is. So that's my first pick. Girl. Lee. Who are you
gonna add her?
Picking? I'm gonna add her as you're picking. Calm down, babe.
Well, I want my pick on the screen.
Oh, okay.
No, okay. I thought you played this guy, I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
All right. My first pick is going to be Matt.
Matt, you're lying.
I really, really like Matt. I think Matt, and this is going to be a consistent, not Matthew.
Not Matthew, babe.
Matt, Blankenship. I feel like, honestly, and I think it's going to be a consistent with my picks, is like people who can play that reserved role. I think that is the big strength going in this new era of Survivor. I just really liked his, I really like his answers. I really like his mannerisms in the interview. He seems like someone that I feel like people are going to want to trust. He seems like someone that people are going to think that they can use in a certain way. But he's very intellectual. He's a super fan of the game. He started watching 10 years ago, I think he said. He's an engineer. And I think the way he kind of thinks about playing the game, it's somehow it's a way that can get him to the end. Like, even speaking on players that's played before that he can relate to, he mentioned Yul, and he also mentioned the Marianne. So I think that shows me that he's going to go into this game in that era of more reserve. Like, he's not going to be out here necessarily calling the shots early on. I feel like he's someone that can like bleed into the background and then potentially, make a few interesting moves to get himself to the end. So I don't know. I think I liked a lot of the things he was saying, especially like I watched the interview, I read the bio, and then the 1 minute clip. It just felt like, I don't know, I got an energy to like, he can do it. He can do it.
I think he could definitely be a winner. I liked him a lot. He was high on my list. I feel like he even played me, because watching his video at the beginning, I was like, it's not giving. And then by the end of the video, I was like, this dude could win. Yeah. He literally could win. And it's like, he's playing me and I'm just watching him on a video where he's being honest. So I definitely think he can come across as a non-factor, but actually be a really big factor. And that's exactly how these last couple of winners have been. I definitely think, especially in a new era, that Matt has a lot of upside. I don't think he's going to be someone who necessarily needs to run the show, and that's going to really help. But that was kind of that's kind of why I didn't pick him first, is because I was like, is he going to have the ability to pick up the game when he needs to pick it up? I feel like we saw that with Marianne. Yeah. There was a point in the game where she needed to, and she did. And I'm kind of like looking for that in somebody who I'm trying to choose. Yeah. And I'm just not sure if he can have that gumption?
I feel like it's
We don't really know.
possible. I think it's possible, if mainly because I feel like this season, every season, the full cast is like, I'm a fan. You have to imagine some of these people are lying. And I feel like last season, as a quick callback, I feel like most of them were not necessarily real fans of the game.
Yeah.
And that showed when they got out there in that field. I feel like from the interviews that we saw in the bios, more of these people are actual fans of the game, and I feel like he'll be able to connect with people on that level. I mean, even on his tribe, he's on the Soka tribe. You have someone like Franny, Josh, and Claire, who are, I think, very similar archetypes to him that we're going to get into later. Of like they're articulate, they're intelligent. You know, they are all. I think. I mean, he himself. What did he say? He's an engineer. Yeah. You have Josh on his tribe, who's a surgeon. You know what I mean? And Franny and Claire are also intellectual as well. So it's just like, I think that the way they think about the game, there's a lot of people who are on that same level as him, and he'll be able to connect with them and actually like play. I think there's going to be way more gaming this season, for real, like strategically.
I agree. It's going to be a very, very big like gamer season, which is going to be so fun.
Hopefully, because last season was disappointing.
That was Matt for Lee. Lee has Matt.
And that's the winner.
And I have the winner. Period. My next pick is going to be...
I'm scared.
I don't know if you're going to pick this person. Boom.
Okay, I was not this early at all, really.
Interesting. I felt, me personally...
my top 10.
I kind of... 10's not a lot. I felt... 18, yeah? Well, that's top half. Was she top 9?
10. Number 10. She's top 10 and number 10.
I like Maggie. Honestly,
I like her a lot too.
Similarly to how I felt about Sarah, honestly, I felt like she was very aware of herself and of just Survivor, and I liked that. I was looking for the fans. I was definitely looking for the fans. I was also looking at people who showed like some type of self-awareness. So when she was talking about her bio, what did she say? She said something that I really, really liked. Oh, she mentioned that the way they're going to perceive her is that she's going to be underestimated. I feel like, unlike Sarah, that I genuinely think Maddie can be underestimated. Something about her energy gave, like I guess a Gabby, or like just like a more so, this isn't going to be seen as a general threat in the game of the Survivor, even if she's strategic. I don't think people are going to look at her as too threatening. I feel like what someone like Sarah might lack is that she might not be able to hide behind her prowess. I think Maddie can be a good player and can stay under the radar at the same time. That's kind of why I really liked her. I felt like just her archetype in general kind of just screamed she can be under the radar, but she's also clearly smart. She really, really likes the game. She mentioned that she quit her job to play.
Literally.
And that was like an impulsive decision for her, and that she's very quick on her feet. She's very impulsive. She can make decisions in split moments. And I think that's going to be very helpful in the new age, because it's all about, speed, and we're speeding it up and everything's fast. And it's only 26 days. 26 days? That ain't shit.
I hate that. I wish to go back to 39. I really do.
Yes. Oh, she also mentioned she wanted to work with all the girls. And shout out to her for working with all the girls.
Period.
But I really did like her. When it comes to her tribe, honestly, her tribe, which is Ratu, I was least confident on how the fuck that's going to change.
I don't know how this tribe connections are going to play out.
What's going to happen? I will say, now that I'm looking at it, I probably shouldn't have picked her, because I just feel like, is she going to be able? Because ideally, she would want to work with the girls. I'm thinking of the girls on the tribe. The other girls on the tribe also said they would work with girls, but it's like, baby, there's some men on here.
Yeah,
there's some men on here. What you gonna do about
However,
that?
I don't think the men on the tribe, they don't. None of them. I mean, they're not alpha males, so to speak. I think this tribe. I had a clear understanding of who may work together on Tika and Soka, but not Ratu at all. I think anybody. It could go any way, and maybe they'll help her. I feel like Maddie. The reason why I wasn't as high on Maddie is only because in her bio, I just got the sense that she was just a kind of go with the flow type of person. And I think an example of that who can also be a good player is Carla. And I remember being very, I would always say like, okay, Carla, like I'm with you on this, I like you, girl, you're strategically eating up, but when are you going to necessarily, kind of break out and, take charge of your game? And when I say that, I don't mean being the loudest or necessarily dictating everything, but not just going with someone else's idea, not necessarily only doing something if someone else brings it to you and then going off that information. I'm just scared that Maddie is not going to be able to have the powerful force of like a Sarah. I feel like Sarah is capable of being that, okay, I'm moving this piece, I'm moving myself forward in the game. It does just seem like Maddie from the initial interviews that she's going to be someone that's going to be like, I'm just cooling, I'm just chill. Like even in her bio, she mentions like, I'll just coast through the chaos. Like she gives that. Like I feel like I can sit and chill, smoke a good nasty blunt with Miss Maddie. Like that would be real festive. Like that, like she really would be a fun homegirl. And I think that would be great on that level. But is it gonna get out of that? Similar to maybe even what's her name? Stepsister from last season, the girls randomly started standing Cassidy. It's like someone that was so she had social connections, but those social connections put her in a good alliance, but we didn't see a lot of the strategical moves. And I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, you don't have to outwit, outplay, and outlast. So I don't know. I don't know how much of a well-rounded player Maddie can fully be, but I guess we will see.
I see that too.
I think you definitely made me look at her differently. But you know, hey, we'll see.
Period. And she did, and you're right, because she did say they asked her about alliances, and they were like, what would you do? Who would you want to be?
She said, "I work with anybody."
He was like, "Girl, anybody. Just put
give me anybody." And I love that energy. I love that energy, but it's not. It wasn't like anybody.
It gave adaptable to me.
It did give adaptable, but adaptable can also just mean
sitting there.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because, you know,
there's a thin line. That's the thing. There's definitely a thin line.
Yeah. And I just don't know what side of that fence she's on. Because at the end of the day, you know, not even to her own doing, she could be in a tribe like Ratu where, you know, it could be a fast-paced tribe. And her sitting back and not necessarily just kind of coasting isn't helping her. You just never really know the situation she's going to be in.
That's true. Who is your next person?
Child. My next person is Josh, a surgeon.
Interesting.
A surgeon.
A surgeon.
I love Josh. I love Josh. I feel like he had a lot of good things to say in his bio. I think he's a perfect age for this. I think he has the intelligence for this. He's someone that has been through a lot. This is one of the people where, like, the story on this dude, I want to pull it up because it's very specific. Give me a moment. So he was born with congenital deformity called prune belly syndrome. This required him to have a kidney transplant at 9 years old. Basically, it caused him to develop a stomach cancer when he was 25. He had to have a complete stomach removal, and he's now cancer-free. He's doing great, you know, and he's still be able to persevere through that. I think something as challenging as that, it really can prepare someone for a game like this. You know what I mean? I mean, one, he's living life to his fullest. I feel like, you know, he literally was not, you know, meant quotations to make it to this age, and he's able to do so successfully. You know, he mentioned several times that he's very fit, period. And I just think that he's someone that is going to be able to make good social connections. You know, he's LGBT, and we love that. And I just think, you know, specifically on his tribe as well. I think, you know, like someone like Franny, someone like Claire, someone like Matt, even Danny Heidi, I think he's someone that can get a circle of people around him trusting him really, really, really a lot. I do. The only downside I would say is that I didn't get a sense that, not that his social awareness would not be there, but I could see him getting in a position like a Shan, where she's so powerful in her gameplay that it's like tunnel vision. I'm basically running through everyone else. You know what I mean? I can honestly see Josh being someone that gets to a level of power of like, okay, well, he is now becoming a big threat, and he's not able to manage that threat level. I don't know if he'll necessarily be able to do that. And that's honestly just off the top of my head. Like, I don't think there's necessarily too much that showed me he can or can't. It's just he seemed very confident in the things that he can go out there and do. So I don't know, will he be able to look at the other side of that, especially what if he's not even able to do those things. But I don't know. I heard a lot of good things, in my opinion.
Yeah, I liked Josh. I had him around where you had Maddie, like 10 in the middle. I feel like the reason I did is kind of what you just said, is that he seemed a little, not one track, he seemed a little one track minded. He seemed very aware of what the fuck he was going to go in there and do. And Survivor is kind of the opposite of that sometimes. And I feel like that's kind of why I was like, ooh. I also wasn't confident in his strategy, because he always mentioned, like, I'm athletic. He basically just mentioned his athleticism. You know, most of the time, he mentioned wanting to be a provider. He mentioned he wanted to trust someone. He needed someone who could really trust him. He mentioned needing a regard to his Shan, and I liked it but I don't like that he didn't necessarily mention a lot of strategy when I was listening to his video. It was more so like, I'm athletic. I know what I'm going to do. I need somebody who's loyal to me. That's what's going to happen. And we're going to get it going. I felt like socially, I think he can do good, but I didn't see that in the video. I'm just like assuming he seems like someone who could do good socially. But for me, I didn't see it. So I was like, I don't know. I still like him. I still think he has a great chance, but I just wasn't as confident.
And I think definitely me. I told Pharaoh this before picking like some of my picks as well. I did go based off of how the tribe divisions. I think, and it'll be interesting to see when it actually goes out. Like, but I do feel like Matt and Josh could potentially work together with a Claire and a Franny. I think they could easily be in the majority. And with these small tribes with no tribe swap, if you got to get into that early majority, then I mean you're damn near emerged. So it's like I don't know. We'll see.
No, I can agree with that. I like
because I do think each tribe has their person that could be the designated outcast, which is why I hate these these three 6-person tribes, because there are people who just their archetype is not going to survive in a situation where they don't have many places to hide, which sucks.
Which does suck. My next person is boom.
Helen, you bitch!
Helen.
You bitch!
I
wanted Helen so bad. I loved Helen.
I love Helen.
I love me some Helen.
She was honestly, initially, she was my second pick. The only reason I picked Maddie instead of Helen is because I wanted someone more who I didn't think would be the it girl. Yes. I was like, I feel like Sarah and I feel like Helen kind of are similar in the fact that they finna play. I love everything.
I'm so mad.
And honestly, I liked Helen. I like Helen more than I liked my first two picks. I wanted to pick my first two picks so that Lee didn't pick my first two picks. Well, specifically Sarah. But I really, really liked Helen. Helen was someone that I felt like similarly to Sarah, she knew the game very well. She knew exactly how to play the game, I felt. She mentioned a lot about being social. I really liked that. I really loved that part of her because one of my highest priorities when I'm picking a good player is can they be social? Yep. Because this, at the end of the day, is a social game. You're going to have to get the votes at the end. She was a great speaker, too. I feel like if she's in the final three, she can very, very much so speak her way out of anything. What I liked the most when I was listening to her talk is actually when she mentioned how people would perceive her. She said, people are going to perceive me as very bubbly. Now, in the video, she was being serious, but her saying that she's bubbly and people perceive her as bubbly, that made me flip my mind about how big her threat might be. I'm thinking if people see you as bubbly and a little ditzy, that's going to be very, very helpful. And she said she wanted to play that up. That's going to be very, very helpful.
I think a good point on that is that, for example, she's 29. When I first saw her, I thought the girl was about 21.
Yes, same. I thought she was
really young. I think she could easily play up like, oh, she said in the video, like, oh, people going to think I'm a ditz. But like, I'm not, babes.
She said the best advice she received was to make genuine one-on-one bonds. I really, really liked that.
She spoke about relationships so much.
Throughout the entire time. She also mentioned, with her alliance, she also mentioned the Ricard Shan thing. Everyone keeps saying it, but who gonna eat it up? I think her and Sarah will be perfect. I also like the tribe she was on. I liked her tribe. I felt like in that tribe, I immediately saw her and Sarah linking up, and I immediately saw them literally running the tribe. It could just be the two of them. Ricard and Shan. Sarah and Helen. I don't know.
And like, no, definitely on Helen's tribe. I 100% see, in my opinion, I can see a Helen, Sarah, Carolyn, Carson, Helen, Sarah, Yam, Carson, maybe. I do think that the outcast for the Tika tribe will be, unfortunately, Bruce and Carolyn, or maybe Yam. I am leaning more towards it could be in Carolyn. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just basically going off like the personality. I think the in general, this cast is leaning more towards the younger. Like the oldest person in the cast is 45, and that's Bruce. So I think a lot of their personalities are just in general kind of on the more Gen Z side of things, later millennial side of things. So I just think they're going to be able to relate way more, and that's going to help Helen out a lot. I really, really like Helen. I think she said a lot of good things. The best thing about her is that she's self-aware. I think that she had a great sense of self-awareness. When she spoke, I believed every word she said. I really did. People say, "Oh, I'm going to go in. They're not going to think I'm this, but I'm really going to strategically get them." And I truly believe that Helen can do that because I think she had a good sense of who she is and what she can do as a player. You know, you have people like, "Oh, okay. Who do you most relate to?" You have people saying the best players of all time. You have people saying, "Oh, I can relate to Sari." You can relate to Sari.
Please. In what way? In what way are you like Mother?
But you're not like Mother. That's you're a fan of Mother. But you're not Mother. And I think like Helen's choices, she mentioned Sophia Clark. I think Sophia Clark was a very reserved person, someone who really got to the end based off social connections and relationships. She also mentioned Erica, Survivor 41 winner. And it just I feel like it shows that she knows her potential place in this game and she's gonna play it well. I think Helen is the archetype that wins New Age Survivor. Point blank, period. I think out of everyone on this season, she has the juice for it. And I'm so mad that you got her. I
agree. I really, really like Helen. She also, another thing I really liked is that she mentioned what's one of her strengths, what's going to prepare her for this. And she mentioned the fact that she has to code switch. She grew up in a Chinese with a Chinese family, but she was in a community with a lot of white people. So she knows how to code switch. That, first of all, I relate to it, one. Period. And two, I understand how advanced it can make your mind if you have to code switch, especially when it comes to a social strategy game. Baby, and the fact that she's aware that prepared her for Survivor, I mean, she knows what the fuck she's doing. She knows what the fuck she's doing. A lot of people, when they were asked, what experience helped you? No one else said this. No one else said this, and I really like that answer. She ate it up.
I'm really excited. You know, actually, my next pick did say something similar, actually.
Really?
Because my next pick is Claire!
Oh, man.
Shout out to motherfucking
Shout out to Claire,
first of all, I'm excited to say another Claire in my life, period. Claire. And that's the thing, no. Claire, I was standing Claire immediately. She damn near opened the video.
Preseason, babe.
She damn near opens the video saying that she's a Jewish black queer woman. And then we find out she's a Hunger Games stand. Oh yes, that's the mother. That's the mother. I believe Claire is coming for her throne. I do. I see it for Claire. I really do. I'm excited.
I see Shan for Claire.
Don't do it.
That's not an insult.
Okay.
It's not an insult.
It's not an insult. It's really not an insult. But my sister didn't win, so I want Claire to win. Mm-hmm. So I really like Claire. I think Claire has a really really good head on her shoulders. And kind of to piggyback off what you just said about Helen, I think Claire also mentioned that as well. She said, growing up being black, queer, Jewish, her household, it wasn't seen as something necessarily acceptable for society. And she grew up knowing that she was different. She grew up knowing because she looked different that she would be outcasted. And she felt like that is something that could have prepared her for this game. When she speaks, I think it's very similar to a Sarah in a way of like she knows what she wants to go into that game and do. But I do think that you said like the downfall is potentially that Chan thing, because I think she herself even mentioned that like she could potentially get into it and too riled up and basically lose focus. And I hope that's not the case. I really like Claire a lot. I feel like on her tribe, I keep mentioning it, but I definitely see her, Josh, maybe her and Franny. I see her, Matt. I can definitely see her being in a position of people liking her. I think she's going to be an active player, and she's a fan of the game. And I think there's a lot of people in this cast that she could vibe with on a really, really good level. Like strategists like her. I think there's a lot of strategists like her in this season. So like once a merge happens and things like that, I think she'll be able to really take it off. Like she's a super fan. Like, my sister is coming. Like, when she mentioned who she identified most with, she mentioned Michelle. So it's like she's not even going for like, oh, you know what I mean? She said I can be a Michelle, and I love that because a Michelle gets you the win. Okay, you need to play like Michelle. That's the blueprint for the new era, Michelle. Point blank, period. But then she also mentioned that Natalie Anderson. So it just shows to me that I feel like she's going to be able to be reserved while also wanting to at least make decisions that's going to prepare her into the game. And I feel like she can do it.
I liked Claire, but that was my biggest fear. I had her at number 4, so I would have picked her next. But my biggest fear was the potential to kind of just get too much into it. It seems like it's going to be hard for her to stay reserved. I also think it's going to be easy for her to get in a power position. And those two in the same mix is going to be scary because I think Claire can start running her first initial try.
Yep.
And if she starts off the game eating it up how I think she probably will, it's a long game. Well, it's a short game, but it's
still a marathon.
It's a marathon. And I'm scared that by the end of it, even if she doesn't mess up, that other people clock her. Like, it's too late, baby. You've been running it since the beginning. Like, it's impossible to hide that you've been running it since the beginning. And I do think she's the type who can. I think she's going to be definitely in the running to win, but she's going to have to really manage the threat level. You have to be sure, especially in this new era, you cannot be a threat.
And I will say, I didn't fully feel like I got that from her video, that she could manage her threat level if it got to that level.
Like, you cannot be a threat. It's to the point where last season, we saw it last season. It's to the point where, baby, if they run out of threats, somebody's going to be a threat. Yeah. Like, it was like there wasn't really nobody a threat except Jesse and Carla. Jesse and Carla were eating up too much. And they were like, well, we're going to get out Noelle. Because Noelle barely made a move. She made a move the round before. They was like, you're out.
Yeah, they go.
You're out. Like, they were taking the girls out. Do one thing to make me think you're a threat and you're going home. And I feel like, that's what I just see for Claire. I see that in her future. I don't know. My next pick. It's funny because Claire was my next pick. And then so was Matt. So it's like, you ain't that up. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, Helen. Well, that's the I got my first 3. My first 3 was Matt, Josh, and Claire, but next was Sarah and Helen.
Period. I have a name. I'm gonna switch it. I know who I'm gonna choose. This is gonna be crazy.
What, girl?
Y'all gonna be like, please wrap it up. Well, actually, I don't know how y'all gonna feel. Matthew.
Gag. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué tú sabes?
Now, I will say, watching Matthew on the video, I was like, it didn't give on the video to me.
Yeah.
But I was reading between the lines.
Okay.
And I feel like in the actual setting of Survivor, it's going to be way more personable than it felt on the video. I think he has a charm to him that I can tell. What does he do? Did he do something? Oh, he owns.
He's a barbershop owner.
King. He's always talking to people, babe. I just felt like he could be social. But that's one of my biggest things. I felt like there was a charm to him. He actually is a fan. He's been watching since episode 1 because he is, little, what did he say? Did he say seasoned? Who was that who said season? But he's been here. He's been watching it since the beginning. I felt like he knew the game more than he let off in the actual video. So I just felt like he also says he's looking for a good time. He's looking to be genuine. But he also, when he speaks about the alliances and he speaks about the people he wants to work with, he's like, I need to find someone who can make me stronger, who has things that I don't have. So it kind of made me feel like I was wavering. I'm like, is he just going to be there? Or is he going to... Is he playing in a more ABC kind of way? Like, kind of like Erica. Kind of like I don't have to do the most. I can be with someone who I'm loyal to. Erica was with that girl, Heather. I don't remember that girl name. The whole time. I felt like he's going to be the type of player is if he gets with someone, he's going to rock with them the whole time. He's going to play the game not too shady, but he's also going to play the game. And at the bottom line, I felt like he was going to play the game. It's kind of similar to my Maddie pick. I felt like he's someone who won't get taken out, but he's also maybe not. He's not going to be the head honcho, but he's not going to get taken out. And I feel like he's a good person in the middle between you can get cut or you can win. I think you can win. Yeah. What was your thoughts? Because you was gagged.
I mean, I didn't have him that high because I just felt like from the answers, from the bio, it just gave. I honestly, and I feel like this way about one other person in this cast as well. Like, he may be too nice almost. Like he just seemed like really, really sweet. He doesn't seem like someone that's gonna be able to manipulate if he needs to, or in my opinion, get control to move the pieces even socially. I think that he could do well socially, but the way Survivor is, especially new Survivor, things change very quickly. And I just did not get the sense that he is going to be on his toes like that. Even when he mentioned like people that he can relate to and identify with, he first mentioned Elaine, and I think, well, Elaine, you can love her for two reasons, and he kind of mentioned her being funny and genuine, not the strategic queen that Elaine is, and then he mentioned everyone coming to Shan, but he mainly was speaking about Ben, and he said he liked Ben because he had a lot of baggage that he had to overcome. I think there's two fans of Survivors, and Gabler is an example of that one type of fan, the fan that has been watching for years. He loves the idea of coming out there and being in the show and actual surviving and providing and making genuine connections. That is what Matthew gives. And then there's another fan that is there for the strategic aspect. And I just feel like the person that's there for the former is just not always going to be able to get that win. I think Gabler's win, we just have to fluke. It really is, because most people like that, they just don't win. Like Ozzy, Rupert. A lot of people with that type of archetype, it just, it's harder for them. And I didn't see that he'd be able to turn it on in any way, in my opinion. And I'm also looking at his tribe. I think if there could be an outcast on his tribe, it could be him. Because so far we've talked about Lauren and Maddie, and he's the third. I don't know. Well, we ain't talking about Lauren. I want to talk about Lauren. That's the gag. But we've talked about Maddie, and I don't know if he'll be able. I don't know how his connections will be on that tribe. He's the older one on his tribe and one of the older people in the cast. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. It's kind of a big question mark for him, honestly. Because you're right. I think he did not give off as much as he actually knew about the game. It seemed more so about the genuinity of the game. Is that even a word?
Genuinity of the game.
I made it up, but hey.
No, I definitely see what you're saying. This was more of a guess, not a guess, but like a kind of a guess. This was like me hoping. This was
okay. Hoping. And you're gonna hopefully
hope my way out of the list. It's like, hey, look, last season, every season before this, I went with my head. This time I'm going with my pussy, like my heart.
I don't know.
What?
I guess it's good to go with something.
I have to switch it up. I can't.
Oh, girl, I'm fucking up.
Who's your next person?
Go back over. Didn't I do this last time? Why is my first three from the same tribe?
Dang, I ain't even.
They all Tika.
And I got nobody from that tribe. We did that same shit last time.
I had all of.
I will say,
but Gabler ended up winning. I had them there all of Baka, and then Gabler won.
I do think Tika is going to be one of the strongest.
I think Tika is the strongest tribe here, in my opinion. Not necessarily by strength wise, but strategy and things. It's definitely Tika. Like they got Helen, they got Sarah. Oh, wrong tribe.
Oh, Soka. Who was it?
Soka, girl. I'm stupid.
It's okay. That tribe.
The same thing. So Claire,
they have all the
Josh, Matt. I think Franny as well is someone that can be really strategically inclined. So that'll be exciting.
So that's hopefully good. Hey, I don't got nobody in that tribe. I done messed up and let you.
All right. My next pick is Kane.
What?
I really liked Kane. He is a recent law school graduate. He's from Canada, and as you know, if you're a Canadian, you win Survivor. He's the first Canadian since Marianne and Erica. They had no Canadian on 43. So but it's not just that. I was going for the fans. As for the earlier picks, the people who I felt like were genuine fans of the games, and he just felt like he had a really, really good understanding of it. He seems like, he's someone that can be social. He seems to be easygoing. Like listening to him speak in the interview, he just mentioned like, oh, I always bring the party with me. I think it's gonna be real chill. Oh, I always bring a vibe with me. I think a lot of people are gonna feel like they can really trust him. And on a tribe like Ratu, where I feel like honestly the personalities are all over the place more so than the other two tribes, I think he's going to be someone that can kind of be a central point of some sort. I can see Matthew working with him. I can see a Maddie working with him. I can see a Jamie working with him. I can see a lot of people gravitating towards him as a player.
Mm-hmm.
And even when he was mentioning people that he identified with, one of the people he mentioned was Tyson, who I feel like as a strategic player, I like that he said Tyson because Tyson and his best on Survivor is honestly probably one of the best, in my opinion. And then also mentioning someone like Zeke, who I think when Zeke was doing well, I really liked a lot of things that Zeke was doing. And I see that Kane could be, I think he could be like that new age kind of like strategic player. Like I honestly like a Devins maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I get vibes from Kane.
Interesting. I liked him. I didn't get winner. I was feeling like who is going to want to work with him? I kind of felt like it seemed like he could be social, but I don't know if it's a social in a way that other people are going to necessarily relate to.
Really?
That's how I felt. It is. I was like, I'm not sure if people are going to want to work with him. I'm not sure who he's going to be able to work with.
Wow.
He said he's
the complete opposite. That's crazy.
Yes. He said he was looking for someone who's also a fan. That's a really good idea.
Because he's a huge super fan, a huge gamer.
He could definitely link up with Maddie. And if him and Maddie link up, that could be really nice for them in that tribe. I think he has potential. I thought he was really smart.
Even someone like Matthew. I don't know. I think you tripping so
I wasn't confident that he was aware enough of himself. I wasn't.
And you thought Matthew was? I'm sorry.
Oh my God. No, Matthew seems extremely confident in himself. He knows who the fuck he is. With Matthew, is he going to play the game? Kane's definitely going to play the game, but I don't know if he understands what his capabilities are. I don't know if he knows whether or not, I don't know if he's going to have the awareness to know I actually have control of this person, or I think I have control of this person. That's the archetype he gave me. The person who thinks they're running this so-and-so, but really they're not. If he does link up with Maddie, I think that could work with him, because Maddie is someone who probably could actually run. It could start off very well for him. But I see if Kane makes it to emerge, I don't think he's going to be able to really fight his way out. I wasn't confident in that. But really, we can see. We really only saw a video. I was not confident.
That's it. All of these picks are honestly all speculation. This is a bunch of speculation. We don't really know anything, of course.
Yeah, we got 3-minute videos. Well, really, they were like 10. But yeah, that's just how I felt. I was like, boom, boom.
Watch that shit go boom.
Finally, somebody on a different tribe for you, King. My next pick is... Who is my next... Oh, I know who my next pick is.
Ooh.
Danny. Where's he at? Hello? Danny.
Okay. Also, he was in my bottom 3.
Whoa!
Yeah. Did not see it for Daniel like that.
I'm so sorry for yelling. He was another person I felt was extremely aware of himself. When he was talking about... When he was introducing himself, he's a firefighter. He said he likes Jeremy a lot. He mentioned he likes Jeremy because he is a family man, but he also mentioned the gameplay of it all. He also mentioned Christian from David and Goliath. He liked that Christian took out Alec and Alec was being cocky, and he doesn't like that Alec was being cocky because in this game you need to be more self-aware. His entire video for me gave him being aware of himself. He's like, I know I need to come in this game. I need to be this way. I'm a firefighter. People might perceive me as arrogant and a frat boy, so I need to make sure that I'm doing the opposite. I need to make sure that I'm coming off calm, that I'm being sociable. And I feel like he just knew basically who he was. And I really, really like that. I felt like that was going to fare well. He seemed like someone who, similar to my other picks, isn't going to come across as a big threat if he can make it to a certain point of the game. At the beginning, because he's like more bigger, he's muscular, he's like quotations, the alpha male. Visually, that could be a problem, but he says he's going in trying to be the opposite. He's not going to come across that way. So that's my hope for him. Him being aware, kind of like Jonathan preseason said the same thing. That he was aware that he can come off this way, so he's going to be extremely, extremely nice or whatever. Jonathan made it really, really far in the game playing that way. It was to the point where he didn't even win immunity. People didn't vote him out. And then he started going on an immunity run. And I feel like for Danny, that's a winning path, I feel like he has the potential to make it far. And people see people like Sarah, who are really playing the game. Even Kane, who might really, really be playing the game. Even Claire, who might really, and being like, they got to go. Because in this era, it's no longer about alpha men have to go. That's not a thing anymore. We saw Jesse and Cody float to the end. People didn't even say their name. And it's like, that's no longer a thing. That's no longer really a threat if you make it to a certain point. It's now, baby, Shan can be a threat.
Yeah.
baby, Erica can be a threat. It's more so looking at the power strategic women is what I think might be the downfall for a lot of these players. And someone like Danny, who has a general knowledge of the game, who is aware of how he wants to play, has a strategy going in, knows he needs to dial down his threat level, knows he needs to be sociable. I think all of that is positive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just how I feel. I feel like he's in a good middle. He's not going to be too big of a threat, but also I don't think he's bad enough of a player that he's just going to flop out. That's kind of how I felt. Now the tribe he's on is what I did not.
And I think that also kind of influenced my decision on Danny being low overall. It's just I feel like when I was kind of getting the vibe of his tribe, looking at Claire, Josh, Matt, their personality types, their potential archetypes, I just didn't think that Danny necessarily could vibe on this tribe. I think there's a bunch of thinkers here, a lot of people who are going to be actively just strategically involved in the game, and I didn't get the sense that personally that Danny would necessarily be on that level of it. I did not. I don't know. I just got a big question mark. None of his answers or responses necessarily stood out the most to me. For the most part, when he mentioned Jeremy, I feel like it was more so similar to Matthew mentioned Elaine. It's like, of course,
he's a family man.
You know what I mean. And it's more so. I mean, let's be real, Jeremy's a firefighter, and so is Danny. So of course, so it's just like I don't know. It's and that also kind of makes me look at it a certain way too. When people do mention people, that I'm just like, are you only saying that because like they're a fan? So it's like, who are you really going to be in the game? I don't know what path or legacy that he's going to be able to forge. I honestly just don't know.
Yeah, we can see he wants to be cunning. He mentioned you can see it right here. He said, "I hope I can be as cunning."
I hope I can be. Keyword. I hope I can be.
And that's good. We love a man with hope.
We love a man with hope. A man with hope, a job, benefits at that. Firefighter?
Period. So there's that. And Lee, who's your next pick?
My next pickiana is Carson. Carson. Now, he was number 7 on my list overall. I think fairly high for someone as young as he is. He is 20 years old. I just think, and I like Carson for this season because in general, after looking at the entire cast, like I've been saying, I think this is a cast of strategic thinking people who are going to be very much in the game, potentially at all times. And I'm even looking at his cast. You have someone like Sarah, who has this very powerful personality. You have someone like Helen, who is more reserved, but strategically, Mother is there. You know what I mean? Yam Yam, who we're going to get into, mentioned wanting to manipulate and be social. I just think Carson, he has a bubbly personality. His personality, you're not going to think is threatening at all, but he's also very intelligent. I mean, he's a fucking, what is an intern for NASA?
Yeah, he's the boy. Did he do aerospace?
Yeah, the boy's a damn genius. I don't have to tell y'all. And I just feel like he mentioned similar to someone like a Helen, a Claire, a Sarah, that people are going to underestimate me, and I'm going to be able to sneakily get them from behind. And I think that he is definitely capable of doing so because there are so many things that you can look at him and just say, I mean, I'm not really worried about him. And he's also, I think, someone that is aware of himself because he also mentioned, like, I'm not going to go in mentioning that basically I'm a genius, I'm an engineer, I work for NASA. And he also mentioned identifying with something like Christian Hubicki from David versus Goliath. And Christian gameplay, I mean, when you mention King, you got to pay attention. And I feel like if anyone can potentially replicate, I think it could be him. Because I do think a lot of people are going to look at him similar to how they looked at Christian, not someone that at first we can worry about. And then I think Carson, because he's a fan of the game and he is intellectual, that he probably could, maneuver his way to the end. I don't know. I have a lot of high hopes for him, even though he is 20 years old. That's not necessarily the best thing for any reality show contestant to be that young because of the life experience rotations. But I don't know. I feel it.
I did not feel high on Carson because he was really low. He was like my bottom 3. I felt like he mentioned, for example, the Christian situation, the Christian comparison. I see it. I think that's the best arc for Carson, and Christian lost. So that's why it's like, I don't see him necessarily winning the game. And that was basically the end of it. Like, I just don't necessarily see him winning the game. I feel like he can be a strategic person. I'm not sure if he's going to have enough awareness of himself, like I've been saying. I feel like he seemed like he knew the ABC of it all, of I can't say I'm this smart. but can he present himself to not seem smart? I'm not sure that he can, or that he's going to be aware enough to do so. I think when he starts playing the game, people will quickly know that he's smart and quickly want to get him out. I can see people even wanting to target him just because of how he looks. Instead of thinking, oh, he's friendly and he's cute, they could think, this nigga not friendly, not cute. This nigga is a threat and he needs to go. He's someone who, if I saw, I would want him to go. I can see people who are gamers thinking like, he has to go eventually. He's like the person in the game where if he does make it far, it's like he has to go eventually. He's going to be gone on a random episode. It's going to be like, well, Carson needs to go now because he has to go. I just didn't see winner. I do think he can be a strategist. I do think he can be in the gameplay, within the gameplay, but I don't think he can win. I also felt what I also felt was I didn't think his final 3 performance could be that good. When I was listening to his video, he didn't encapsulate me. Other than what he was saying, it didn't encapsulate me. The way he presented himself, I'm like, can you convince someone to do something?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not confident that you can convince someone to vote the way you need them to vote, or that at the end you can convince someone to vote for you. He definitely has the potential to. I can definitely see him doing it 100% and being a power player. But from what I saw, I was like, ooh, I'm not confident that he can. He seemed a bit like timid in the interview. And it's going to be different on the island, but I'm wondering like if on the island he gets there and he's timid there too. He's not able to push his agenda, or he gets caught up.
Yeah, he go out there like a Daniel. Remember Daniel and what was it, 42, where he went out there, and then he's turned on Chanel.
Chanel, yes.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I can honestly see that for Carson just a little bit. I can see it kind of being like, okay, open woman, because you kind of see that a little bit with some of the younger contestants. It does become, I feel like, a lot because it is all at once, and you kind of even notice that in some of the answers. Like some of the more older contestants, they have more stories and things that kind of prepared them, as they say, for the game. Someone like Carson, he mentions school and basically growing up through life. If you don't have a something that really just, I feel like, not even necessarily traumatized you, but just impacted your life on a bigger scale, I think it does set you back. It really does, because you just won't be able to connect with people as much. I mean, he was young as probably some of these people kids, but I don't know. I feel like I see it for him. I do. Out of any young contestant, I think he definitely can do it.
My next contestant is, I think, the second youngest contestant that I'm going to choose. Franny. Boom.
Franny. Purr.
Now, Franny was not my first pick. Let me pull her up. Franny was not my first pick, but she was higher on my list. I think she was 7 or 8. I felt like
she was number 9 for me.
Okay, kind of same area. I felt positive, but not confident. She seemed like she knew what the fuck was going on. She seemed like she knows the game. She knows I think she's very aware of what Survivor is and how to play Survivor. I just wasn't confident that she could do, kind of similar to how I felt about Carson. Can you do what you need to do? Can you really convince somebody of doing something? What I did like is that when she said she wanted to convince people that she's just goofy and not smart, I believed she could actually make her personality come across that way. Whereas like someone like Carson, I wasn't like, can you really dial that down?
Yeah.
Franny, I think she could be someone who people are like, this is a non-factor. This is literally a non-factor. And if she does get in that position, that could be good. I also think she could be a great like understudy. Did she say that? I'm not sure if she did. She did. She said she wants to shrink. She's okay with aligning with someone, making them seem like they're the ones in power, and that she'll be okay with shrinking herself, making myself smaller. That's what I really, really liked, because that's probably what's going to happen. Yeah. Someone's going to sun her. And if she's able to unsun herself,
that's my issue. I think similar to a Maddie and honestly one other person this season, it just feels like it's that fine line of, the game, what you're doing, but are you going to just get caught up in it when you're out there and not even necessarily be able to do anything? I think Cassie is a great example of someone who knew the game, who was a fan of the show and wanted to play hard, but when she got in there, she was in a situation where people who were better players than her, people who had more control than her, more agency than her, and they moved her around as a chess piece. And I can see Franny kind of falling in that, because it never gave through the screen that it didn't seem like she's someone that others would necessarily consider to be like, okay, I want to protect Franny. I want to bring Franny in, or Franny is useful for me in this way. I don't know.
That's true.
I think we say that every time, but low key, I feel like the winner could have been picked by now. I do feel like some of the few people left, it's like I don't really know where we're gonna go from here. So these last few, I'm just like it was more of a question mark. I don't really know. It can go either way, but with Franny, especially even considering the age, I feel more so that she would lean on the side of just kind of being, lost in the background, unfortunately.
And honestly, I feel like I should have picked her earlier because I remember another reason I picked her, and it's because she kept mentioning Mother Michaela.
She did. I love
shout
that.
out to Mother Michaela. But what I like about her mentioning her is that she mentioned that her friends were telling her that you're gonna think 4 steps ahead, and like Michaela, and you need to slow that down. You need to think what's in front of you, and you need to make sure that other people don't know that you're thinking 4 steps ahead. Other people telling her that makes me feel like she actually is someone who's going to be active in the game. And I do like that. I don't think Franny's just going to sit there. I feel like it's more likely for a Maddie. Also, with Franny, one last thing is like, can she garner respect in a way? I feel like recently we've seen a lot of different types of winners, but you can't just go based off that. So it's like seeing her as an individual, it's like she is young, similar to Carson, and both of those are people who I'm like, in the final tribal council, can you hold your own? Franny, you're gonna have to sit up there and say, I did this, this, and this. I ate this person up, and this person up, and you're gonna vote me to win, period. And it's like, ooh, can you do that? So that's another reason. But hey, I do feel like we probably picked the winner girl already. But
we'll see.
Who's your
I know Gabler was pretty low, and
Gabler was really low. Honestly, Marianne. No, you picked Marianne.
Yeah, quick. That was Mother.
I
might not pick her that early though. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was pretty deep.
It was like probably this era. This was probably your Marianne pick, right?
I do. I think so. All right. So my next pick is going to be Brandon.
Oh, okay.
I will say I think I picked Brandon here more so for archetype over anything. He didn't seem like necessarily someone that is going to fall into this leader role, but also be someone seen as useful. He's an ex-NFL player. Usually the athletes that come into this game, they make it pretty far because, above all else, we need to win these competitions, okay? And if I'm sitting here looking at the tribes right now, I don't really know how his tribe is going to fare. I really don't know, but I could bet if they lose, I don't necessarily see people looking at him. And I also think on his tribe, he is someone that can make some pretty good connections. He just seems like an even-tempered person. He has an archetype that I think is naturally going to take him far in the game. And it seems like he has a good understanding. Like when he mentioned like people that he can relate to and identify with, he mentions like a Jeremy, he mentions a Danny. And I feel like that just tells me that he is someone that's going to move through the game just very stoic, very calculated. I think he's going to make connections knowing what he wants from them. And I just feel like he's someone that is going to be able to keep people around him that's not going to want him to go. Because we see that with that archetype a lot, in my opinion. And I feel like he can really just easily slide into that. Okay, a lot of people like me. I think a downfall slightly is that I think there's a lot of gamers, and I don't think he's that much of a gamer. It seemed like he did feel more connected to the side of Survivor that's more about the competition and just being out there for the experience. But he mentioned he'd do whatever. He mentioned that he did plan on being strategic, manipulating, lying if need be. So I just feel like it could go either way. I don't know if he can, be Omar or Shan, but neither one of them.
Neither of them won.
So it's like he doesn't necessarily have to be at all. This new era, I just feel like Erica, Marianne, Gabler, I mean, they're very similar in the type of game styles, but they're also personality. 3 different people, so you don't really know if Brandon can go in here, play that game style and win. I don't know necessarily, but I do think he definitely has a good shot.
Yeah, I feel similarly to Brandon. I feel like he's someone who I don't think necessarily will win, but he still can. He still has a small potential. I just think his awareness of he said all the right things, which I liked, but I wasn't sure if. And my next pick is similar to that, where they said all the right things, but I'm like, are you really going to do this, or are you just saying this because you know that's what you're smart enough to know that's what you should be doing? Yeah. But in the game, are you going to execute that? Also, on Brandon's tribe, I think him and Lauren can link up, and that would be positive. But if that link up doesn't happen, I can see that tribe being bad for Brandon in the way that I'm not sure that Maddie and Kane are going to work with Brandon. And if Maddie and Kane are linking up, or even like Maddie, Kane, and what's that girl name? Jamie Lynn. Mm-hmm. If they all link up, it's like, ooh, where you going to fit? But also, this tribe, I think, has the oldest group because he's there, Lauren's there, and Matthew's there. And if they can link up in some way, then that's going to be good for him. But I'm just not sure. I feel like his path to the end is going to be kind of hard because even if he isn't playing well, his archetype is scary. Like, I could see him just being at the end. If he's at the end with Maddie, Kane, Sarah, it's like, I mean, even though we all leaning it up, he still could just get the votes. People, like, he seems like, and he also is personable. He is someone who people can gravitate towards. And I feel like that can become a threat at the end, and he's not going to be able to do enough to stop that threat from coming. Yeah. It's kind of how I feel. Like, can you... Like, are you going to do anything? And then if you do, can you stop yourself from being a threat? There's a lot to Survivor, and I'm just not sure if he's going to be able to do all that. No. The wrong person. Boom. My next pick, and I feel similarly to this person that I did to Brandon, that I felt like they said all the right things, but that's all. And that is Jamie Lynn. How you spell Jamie Lynn?
Jamie Lynn Spears.
Jamie Lynn. We don't support Jamie Lynn Torres. We support Jamie Lynn Ruiz.
Period.
Now, I felt like Jamie Lynn had a teleprompter in front of her telling her what to say during the video. And that is the only reason that I was like, okay, I'm not going to put her that high.
It gave Jamie was saying what was right. It definitely did not feel like it was necessarily something that she will embody.
Exactly. That's exactly how I felt. So I just put her in the middle of my list. I was the low middle. I was like, okay, we'll see. She did mention, she said, it's like I didn't believe her. That's kind of how I felt. Like, I didn't believe her. And if I didn't believe you, are people in the in the game gonna believe you? Mm-hmm. I genuinely didn't believe her. But she was like, she identified with Marianne, which shout out to her. And she said, I liked that Marianne laid low and then started moving chess pieces. Now, Jamie Lynn is one of the people who I think is actually gonna lay low. Yeah. I don't think she's going to do much. And she would have to actually start moving the chess pieces like Marianne. One, can you? Because Marianne is mother. Can you do what Marianne did? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Two, will you? I don't know. Non-winner she identified with because she's super strategic. And I will say the way Jamie Lynn spoke, it seemed like she was aware what strategy meant. Mm-hmm. Like, she seemed like she could be strategic, but with her, it's like she said what she needed to say, but I don't believe that she will do what she said she will do. So that's kind of just how I felt. I'm just not sure about her. That's all.
She's definitely someone else who I got the sense that she's going to care more about relationships and the fact of, I really, really like these people. Like, I know she even joked about her interview. She's like, these are all my friends. They don't even know.
They're all going to be my best friends. They're going to be mad at me.
She's a yogi, someone else, dream blunt rotation, Jamie Lynn and Maddie, I fear, because it just gives very much like peace, love, I love everybody. Like, we're going to get up here. It's going to be a fun experience. I'm here for a great time. I understand there's also strategy involved that I'm going to do, of course, but I'm here for these other. I did not get the sense that she would be able to take any type of control over her game. I'm sorry, I did not. Yeah. I did not.
And she spoke about wanting a specific alliance, and it was so specific that it made me less confident in her. Like, going into this game, you cannot be thinking that meticulous. She said, I want a strong person who's not going to be my number one. My number one is going to be someone who can gain intel, but we're also going to have a sneaky person. And that's going to be the 4-person alliance. And hopefully we can all get together day one. We all run the game. And it's like,
I like that I can see that.
Thinking.
You know how Survivor do the little music in the background. It's like music. It gets Jamie is getting that. It does. It gives Jamie is getting that. She make a joke. It's silence. And then you hit a little.
No. Yeah, I wasn't. It is what it is.
It'll definitely be interesting. It'll be interesting.
Who is it? Where we at? Hold on. Let's look at where we're at right now. Okay, so right now, y'all, Lee has your team looks good.
As per usual.
Damn.
Stacked.
Lee has Matt, Josh, Claire, Kane, Carson, and Brandon. Really good. And also a lot of variety. I feel like you have so many different types of people who could win. Oh, you ate that up. Why you ate that up?
No.
I have Jamie Lynn, Danny, Franny, Helen,
Danny,
Sarah. I know, right? Helen, Sarah, Matthew, and Maddie.
I was like, I got all the goddamn men because you stole Sarah and Helen from me.
I did. You got one lady. That's okay.
I feel misogynistic, and I don't even like.
Honestly, looking at it, visually your team looks like it's gonna eat the fuck out of me.
Well, I have Clara the winner, Matt the winner, Josh the winner.
Hopefully not. I can only hope for the best, and that's all. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But who's your next pick to see if you're gonna keep getting
my next pick is going to be Lauren. I really, really like Lauren. Honestly, out of the people that are left on the list, for example, I have Lauren higher than Jamie Lynn, Matthew, and Danny, all of your picks. Mm-hmm. So it's like I think she's kind of in the category of people like I'm not sure like she has a good enough grasp of the game, and I felt that about the other picks I just listed. I didn't understand. Yeah. I didn't know if they fully. Honestly, that's what they were getting into strategically, because even though you want those experiences of the actual, like, just being there, Survivor is messy, and it's a game, and it's very, very cracked as of today. And you have to be aware of what's going on. And I think Lauren, I don't know. I just don't know. She mentioned being a super fan of New Survivor. So if that's the case, she should be pretty prepped on what's happening in New Era Survivor. But, this has been a long game, and I'm not saying you have to be the biggest fan to win. It's just I didn't get the sense at all while listening that she necessarily even had a plan to go in and play. I think socially though, just listen to her speak. I loved her personality. She seems like I think someone's going to get along with people easily. It's just, will she be able to turn it on and use those connections to benefit her? I don't know. I really don't know. It's kind of another question mark with Lauren. I want her to do good because I really just like her personality, but I don't know, honestly. I'm not sure, because a lot of the questions, it was like, oh, like she would mention the most recent thing that happened, like this happened this season before. You know what I mean? One of the people she mentioned was like one of her favorite moments was Angelina. I think that was the furthest back she had went, and she also mentioned knowing Parvati. But other than that, I don't know. It just did not give very much. Like, she is someone that's prepared fully for Survivor.
I fully agree. That's exactly what I felt. She's, like you said, she's in that group category of people. It's like, do you know what you're finna do? And I don't think she does. So I honestly just fully agree with everything you said. I liked her. Like you said, personality-wise.
And another thing, too, she also mentions Erica and Natalie as someone that she can identify with. A lot of people are mentioning Erica's, the Natalies, the Mariannes. Like, shout out to that. I'm hoping, maybe she could do something like that. If you're good socially, in this New Age Survivor, and you're able to, play a strategically reserved game, that is really all you need, depending on your jury. It's just, it's the question mark with Lauren. You never really know. She didn't really none of her responses gave, I know this game, I'm ready to play, and I'm going to do this and this. It just gave very much like, I'm here, and I'm going home with something for my babies. Period.
Literally. Period. Okay, girl. Who's next? How many people are left? 4?
1, 2. Yeah.
4 people left. Girl. Okay, let's see. Who's my next pick? Ooh, I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, I'm going with Carolyn.
Period, Carolyn! I love Carolyn. I hate Carolyn that she had to be this late in the pick. I love Carolyn.
I love Carolyn. Her personality was amazing.
Top 5. Beautiful, beautiful spirit. I love her.
She is so positive. She's very positive. She's also aware of herself. She has a lot of experience. She went through a lot of things. She talks about struggling with addiction and how that she overcame that, and that's really, really going to prepare her she was very aware. Like,
Mhm.
she knows how she is. She knows how she comes across. She says the only reason she was confident to apply is because of Marianne. Because someone like Marianne won. Marianne won, and it made her like, I can
And
do
she
this.
even
Someone like
began
me can do
crying
this.
while talking about Marianne's
cry,
win.
bitch.
She cried a few times through her interview, but honestly, it wasn't even like sometimes you get like, oh, sometimes you be like, oh
Yes,
God, why
it felt like
it felt just
so,
real.
yeah,
Like, I don't know. Like, she's definitely
so
someone that cares about the little things in life. Like, I think everything. Like, she's a girl that will cry at the a flower blooming in the spring, bitch. And it's just like, I don't know. I love her spirit. Like, and you can tell that she just wants to spread that. It's just, I don't know if Survivor is the place for that.
But I felt that way about Marianne, and look what the fuck happened.
Yep, and I think that's a lot of people's inspiration. It's just that if people feel like if Marianne go out there and can do it, I can do it. And I think Carolyn definitely feels that way.
Great that she won. So great that she won. Even people like Erica. I love these new age winners because you get people like Carolyn who get the gumption to apply. What I like about Carolyn, I will say, is that I think she's so genuine that if you're a smart player, you probably shouldn't take her out.
Yeah,
if you're a smart
she's
player,
going to be loyal to the soil.
Literally. So you probably should not take her out. According to Carson, he described that he wanted to work with someone who he felt was loyal but not strategic, and they're in the same tribe. Do I believe Carson? I'm not necessarily confident, but
that's not fair for Carolyn. I think it will be easy for Carolyn to be that outcast. Even Marianne was the outcast before she got the idol, and Omar felt like that he can use her. You know what I mean? And it's just like she mentioned like someone like Nora. On what was that? Was it Edge of Extinction she was on? Or
Nora. They know who Nora is.
Y'all know who Nora is.
Who the fuck Nora is?
I love Nora. But
Nora.
She mentioned like she probably like she said she wants to play like a Parvati or a Kelly Wentworth, but she knows that she'll probably be like a Nora. You know what I mean? But she feels that, of course Marianne can kind of pave that way for her to still be able to do it. But it's just I don't know. And then I definitely feel like I would feel way better for Carolyn if it wasn't 6-person tribes. It's just at the end of the day, if we go to a competition and she ends up not doing that well, or she's not really relating with everyone on the tribe, she's an easy out. So that just scares me. I don't know if everyone's going to take her personality for honestly how genuine and beautiful it is. And that's just my biggest fear. Because on this tribe, if anyone's going to be the outcast, I think it'll be Bruce. My prediction of working together initially, I think Helen, Sarah, and Carson. I don't know why. I think Sarah and Carson are going to be a strong 3, or definitely going to work together in some capacity. And then Yam Yam will be a part of that. I do feel like Bruce and Carolyn could be the likely minority of this tribe. Damn.
You know what it was? This trash, bitch.
I was combining tribe and cast.
And I was thinking, I told Lee this earlier. I think it's going to be a girls' alliance on that tribe. And I think Helen, Sarah, and Carolyn will work together. I also felt like Carson could be the first one voted out of that tribe. I don't know. That's just the feeling I was getting. I think because Helen and Sarah are both people who valued trustworthiness and people who can be loyal, is going to help in her favor. And the fact that she is very genuine through the screen. So I would hope that in person, she would also feel very genuine. The only thing that would probably make those two people not want to work with her is if she shows that she's erratic very fast. And that it might happen. So we would just have to see when it comes to that. But hey, there's that. Boom. All right. Carolyn. There's only 3 more. Who are you picking?
My next pick is going to be Yam Yam. I love Yam Yam. Someone else, like personality wise, I really, really liked a lot. But overall with Yam Yam, I just did not get a sense. This is why he's really late in the draft. I did not get a sense that, as well as some of the other, a few other people in this cast, it's just that is he going to have the ability to play the way that he is claiming that he could? Because he does mention, I want to be here for the strategy. I want to be strategic. I want to manipulate and things like that. But it's like overall, for the most part, in his interview and bio, he was mentioning things that I feel like were just on the side of the experience of Survivor. Like I think one of his favorite moments he said was the family visits every season.
Mm-hmm.
He loves just going back and watching the family visits. It makes him cry and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So and you know, he was all about making connections. He loved making great connections. But it's just I don't really know necessarily if he can put the money where the mouth is. Basically, I'm not sure. You get a lot of people that just like, oh, I want to be strategic. I can lie. I can do that, and that's how it came across for me. Yeah. It's like I can do those things, but I think for the most part he's going to be social, and I think him. Well, and that's the thing. He is a gay man, and I think naturally, people who are gay in these reality shows, they just naturally socially are just a little bit above because, you know, I feel like as gay people, we kind of are forced to be more social necessarily. So I think that's going to help him a lot. I think even on his tribe, he's going to be talkative. He is going to be active and making connections with people. And I trust that. It's just, honestly, I think Yam Yam is someone that he can have the wool pulled over his eyes quickly. And I think he is someone that if he got in a power position, he may not be aware enough to also lessen his threat level. And that's a fear. So I don't know. I can definitely see him if he is able to put, you know, the pedal to the metal, gas on the brake, and, you know, gas on the brake, foot on the gas.
You should say anything.
Say anything.
No, you good.
I just think I don't know if he'll be able to stop.
Yeah. And honestly, I like Yam Yam as a pick. I like him in general. And honestly, a part of me was like, maybe he could be real. Because he kept saying, I'm manipulative and I think I just want people to think I'm so cute because I don't know why.
And he
like, why am I that girl? And it's like,
he basically said he's socially manipulative. Like he does certain things to make people feel certain ways.
But also, I think he doesn't do it actively, but because that's the thing, when he was trying to explain why he does it, he was like, I don't know why I do it. And I don't think he does it actively. I think he's just aware that that's what it is. And I think that, like him, especially him being a gay man, he's forced to have a certain awareness of himself. And I think that definitely is going to help him in the game. There's just some sort of awareness. And like Lee said, he is going to be social. He was very, very social just in his video. Winter, it's going to be hard. I can agree. It's going to be a hard trek. But I like it. I like the pick. Period. Let me go ahead and add him. You know. Well, we got 2 people left.
Yeah, girl, it's open.
We got 2 people left, and I know who I'm picking.
Who are you picking, girl?
I'm going to be picking Bruce.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna pick Bruce,
which means I have Miss Heidi.
Now, these were the last 2 picks. Bruce was the last, but honestly,
I had Bruce above Heidi. Honestly,
I did too.
Heidi was last on my list.
These were the last 2. These were your last 2 on your list?
No, I had Bruce above Danny and Carolyn.
Oh, interesting. I just took them. Shout out to Bruce. I don't think I had them the lowest. No, I had 2 people below Bruce, but I was not impressed with Bruce's energy. I felt like he was
good when it was phrased that. Yeah,
he was very stoic, very monotone, very, you know, point blank, and I think that can come across in a lot of different ways to other people in the season. He is one of the older contestants. That's not going to be
helpful. He is the oldest contestant.
He is the oldest contestant? He's the oldest contestant. That's not going to be helpful. This is a very young cast. He is the oldest at 45. He's still a young king. Shout out to him. He seemed super smart, super intelligent, very aware, but aware of what the game is. I'm not sure if he's aware that he needs to be the total opposite of how he appeared in that video, on that island. He needs to be social. He needs to be on. He needs to make people. He didn't seem like he was necessarily going to make people want to work with him. And that's something you need to do, especially in a fast-paced game on a 6-person tribe in Survivor 26. We're moving fast. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep up. Can you keep up? Baby boy, I'm going to lose my breath. But he was clearly smart. He was clearly intelligent. He clearly knew the idea, the concept. He's also someone who I'm like, you're saying the right things. Let's see.
Yeah.
But I have hope that he could. I don't think it's a down and out. Honestly, of the cast we have drafted in the past couple of years, I would say this is one of the more anybody can kind of win. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not too. I feel like Bruce has an ounce of capability at least. You know, he has something, and I feel like there's a lot of casts where we get to the end and it's like, baby, there's nothing. We get to the last 9 people, there's nothing. There's positives I can say about him. I don't know. What you
He
think?
does seem like he's someone, in my opinion, that could fall into that role of automatic leader. Like, I can see him potentially trying to dictate himself in that role, and you know, that person never fares well. I just think overall, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's just, you know, I don't necessarily feel like he's going to be able to keep up necessarily. You know, he mentions one of his favorite players being Jeremy, because he can identify with him the most because his sense of family and commitment. I mean, all of his answers were really short, quick. You know, he just seems very short, quick, and concise. And is he going to be like that on the island? We're making social connections. Like, you have to give open-ended discussions. You can't just be short, quick, and concise. I think he probably has more of a story. You know, he mentions being adopted as a young kid. I think he's the one who said he was abandoned for like 3 days as a child, and that has really helped him, and to help him become the person he is today, and can help him as Survivor. My only fear is just that, like, I am not 100% sure necessarily if he's going to be able to turn it on, and that's just the main thing. It's that question mark. I think I was saying, like, this season, it's not even necessarily like, oh, like, we picked the winner and no one else is going to win. It's just honestly question mark. It is. It's just like, I don't know what you're going to do, because I would never thought Gable was going to sit up here and win. You know what I mean? I didn't think Erica was going to win. I knew Mother Marianne was going to win, period. But I'm not going to lie, not week 1, not episode 1 to 2, 3. You know what I mean? So it's just like, anybody really can take it home. And that's why, like, I'm not even mad that I have Heidi, because I have Heidi last just mainly because she's one of the other people on the cast who I just feel like she seems more on the making connections for the experience, more so than necessarily making connections to strategically move herself through the game. She's someone else that I feel like she would give statements like, okay, she loves Sandra because Sandra is a great Latino representation, because Sandra's also Puerto Rican, so is Heidi. But she did not necessarily go into detail about how she identifies with Sandra as a strategic player. You know what I mean? When she mentioned, like, a big moment from the season, she mentioned Zeke being outed, you know? And she also mentioned making good connections with people. And I just feel like we see time and time again, just in general, I feel like the older women players on these Survivor seasons, especially with these 6-person tribe, they are not able to have that much room. Like, I feel like Heather and Heather and Survivor 41,
NECA.
you know, NECA is just like, I feel like we're really not able to see them kind of break out of the show that they're kind of placed in, because even on her tribe, she is the oldest. I think even necessarily personality.
Is she the oldest woman?
I think she is the oldest
woman.
She's the
oldest woman here.
Yeah. And on her tribe, I feel like even personality-wise, I don't see her being able to relate. I think she can be an easy outcast just because of who she is as a person. And I think that does suck. Like, for example, she is from Puerto Rican descent, so is Yam Yam. Both of them have accents, and they're not on the same tribe. I would love if they were on the same tribe, they were able to connect and bond and or hopefully make merge and meet and talk. You know what I mean? Because you know, it's not fair for someone of her archetype to be the only one on her tribe. It's just
I was just going to say that.
She's getting more so set up.
She's the only one like that. Like, she's the only one who doesn't have anyone like even she can try to relate to in her age range or anything. Everyone else on her tribe is just on the younger side, or they at least appear that way. Like, Josh and Danny are a little bit middle, like a little bit older than the other 3, but they are capable of kind of falling into that energy. And the energy on that tribe, I think, is going to be very like, this is youthful. Matt is extremely youthful, screaming. So Franny is one of the youngest players, and Claire is extremely like youthful. They all have like the youthful energy to them. I think Josh and Danny are going to quickly fall in, and Heidi's just going to kind of be left out when it comes to that. So I don't know. But y'all, this is our drafts. These are our drafts.
I'm winning again.
These are our drafts. These are our drafts.
If I have to say here, I think winner, the people on my side, I'm looking at Matt, I'm looking at Josh, I'm looking at Clark, I'm looking at Kane.
Kane?
Yes, I think Kane can win. I do.
That man is not winning. Y'all finna clip this when he win. Oh my God. And then on my side, what you think?
If my opinion on your side, I'd say
Nobody. No.
Sarah, Helen,
and that's it. You ain't got no hope.
Well, I mean, okay.
Honestly,
I'm not
fair,
I just most of the like, for example, Jamie, Maddie, Carolyn, Matthew, Danny. I had all on the lower spec, Bruce.
Yeah,
I all know on the lower spec. I'm probably on your side that I had high. Initially, my top 5 was Sarah and Helen.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel honestly, I can see visually. I feel like your tribe looks like they can win, but what I see.
Oh my god! I got 4 of the 6 Tika.
As you should.
I'm a mess.
But no, what I see is your tribe has the people who are going to be basically what happened last season. If y'all didn't keep up with us, I was just gonna tell y'all the tea. Last season,
oh wait, no, you got 4 Tika. I got 4 Soka.
Oh. Okay, what happened last season, y'all, real quick, is I had James, Carla, and Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
And I had all the people who were really playing the game. And they all got out because they became threats. So this time, I was like, I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm. So and I still won with Gabler.
And you still won with Gabler. But that's the thing. That's why.
I don't think there's anything you can change.
That's why I picked a bunch of Gablers. I was like, you know what? He won with Gabler. And technically, Marianne. And you won with Erica, right?
That's thing. I mean, I'm
gonna just pick.
I feel like I still got the Gabler choice. Nah,
you don't. It was me. Which is why I was like, last season I just got fucked. I picked all the people who were literally eating it up strategically. The people who I knew, because that's the thing. If I did what I did last season, I would have picked Matt. I would have picked Claire. I would have picked Josh. I would have picked Kane probably. But I was like, I can't. Well, and not even last season. The era we're in. The Shan goes home. Omer goes home. Carla,
Jesse and Carla go.
James, they go home. Drea goes home. The power players go home.
Mm-hmm. So you have to wait for your moment to strike.
Let me get people who.
And I think Maddie mentioned that a lot. Waiting for your moment to strike. Was that her?
Franny. Was it Franny or Maddie? It was one of those archetypes.
I think it was Maddie. That's another thing. That's another thing too. I do think. I think you mentioned this a little bit earlier. It's a lot. What we've been mentioning basically the whole time. A lot of the similar archetypes. I feel like when it comes to gaming, playing the game, I think there's a lot of similar archetypes here.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know. I was trying to be like, okay, who's not going to get taken out for being an it girl, but also could make it to the end.
This can go either way. I'm just hoping that all the women don't get taken out back to back to back.
That would suck because I have all the women.
Yep, that too. But also, I don't really think that's possible this time around. I think
hopefully it's the opposite.
We'll love that. We'll love that. Because we want to streak with women winners, women of color, women winners. So let's keep that going.
Let's keep that fuck up.
Lauren, Clark, Helen, Babes.
Period.
Jamie Lynn Louise, Heidi, come on. Honestly, though, I want Sarah to win. I can't even say that because I think Sarah going to come in here and eat this up. So win.
Now, Sarah win. If I win with Sarah with the first pick, we haven't got to win with the first pick in a long time.
We haven't. I feel like we also haven't had that archetype like a Sarah, like that powerhouse kind of like
Kim Spradlin. It's giving Kim Spradlin.
Kim, Sarah. You know, I would love to see that because I feel like Shan, you can't really push Shan with that. I feel like Shan is kind of like on another level.
Mm-hmm. For many reasons.
Yeah.
I agree, but I'm excited. This seems like it's gonna be a very good season.
I'm really excited for this cast. Who's y'all favorites?
Who are
y'all excited to see?
Pick who you want to see. Who is your favorite? Who you would have picked first for this draft? Make sure y'all stay tuned.
Who you think will win?
Who you think will win? Who you think will lose? What you think of?
Drop the T.
Put Lee or Farrell in the comments. Put Lee if you like Lee's team. Put Farrell if you like Farrell's. There's gonna be so many leads. I don't even like my team. Looking at it, I will say.
We always say it always switch. It's gonna play the game. We gonna open the game. My whole draft flopping.
Literally, like last season, and then you won. That shit pisses me off because win.
I got the juice.
Leo win whether he has people who are literally not doing good, people who are doing great.
Watch out win with Heidi type shit. That's the gag. Like it's people I didn't want Gabler, didn't want Kevin and BB Canada. One. Now I did want Clay. I did want Marianne and Taylor.
You did want Marianne and Taylor.
I did want Marianne and
You
Taylor.
didn't even pick
And I did want Claire and Lauren. Nah, I picked Taylor pretty early. I think Marianne was more so middle of the pack, probably towards the end, but she was still a pick. Like,
and you still want it.
Yeah, I wanted Marianne. It wasn't like, oh, I have no one left. You know what I mean? I wanted Miss Marianne, and I wanted Lauren and Claire. So I'm just saying, I'm trying to keep my streak of winning with black women up.
I know, as you should. As a matter of fact, Lee better win. Lee better win, because I ain't got nobody black. Bruce.
Period.
And Bruce better win. Period. But y'all, for real, stay tuned every motherfucking week on Wednesday, right after the motherfucking episode.
Right after, y'all.
You ain't gonna have nothing to do after the episode because you
ain't got shit to do.
You're gonna watch the episode, and then what you gonna do? Run to the store?
Watch us.
You're gonna watch us. Watch the episode, watch us. Boom. 2 hours of fun Survivor shit.
And if you don't watch Survivor, still watch us.
Literally watch us. If you don't watch Survivor,
just watch us. Come on.
Period. And subscribe. Bye.